Hello. Check the volume. Jody, Janet, Natalie, the Goldsboro crew, 700 LZ5. This is your week 3 video from Dr. Palermo. Um, Sorry for the slow start here again. Week 3 of 15 in your last semester. Some reading and writing to do this week. And I hope that you will also remember that you're in week 3 of the semester, and in week 9, a proposal, a chapter 1, 2, 3 proposal is to be shared with a peer over in 7-Eleven. So I hope that you are spending a little bit of time working on your dissertation as well. But as far as readings this week, no Morgan this week, which is kind of interesting. You get a week off from Morgan, and I hope that you have gotten a slightly used copy of Morgan in the mail. That is my gift to you, and a little bit of recycling from my colleagues in the School of Education at Gardner-Webb. So we wanted you to have a copy of that book for your shelf and to use it to reference the metaphors in your OA. I hope that you will think about metaphors. One of my special metaphors from Jim Collins' Good to Great is, you've heard me say it before, if you want to be a successful leader in a school, you have to get the right people on the bus. And also get the right people in the right seats on the bus, and that's Jim Collins. That's Collins' bus metaphor for organizations and leading organizations, and how it's all about the people. That's just one of the metaphors in Good to Great in the social sector. Why social sector? Well, Collins originally wrote this book, Good to Great, and we all want our organizations to move from good to great. How do we do that? That's the whole thrust of Good to Great. He wrote it with the business folks in mind. And here in this little pamphlet, he wants to acknowledge that the social sectors, that is education, healthcare, nonprofits, are different from businesses. If we aren't driven by a profit motive, then we certainly do have different motivations to do a quality job. Good to Great in the social sectors then acknowledges the differences in churches and schools and hospitals, and how the people there can apply Collins' Good to Great concepts. So in addition to the bus metaphor in this slim little book, the hedgehog concept is big. If there's just one thing that you could focus on with your school, and maybe if you're a magnet school, that is your theme, if there's one thing that you could focus on and be great, what might it be? So that's a little bit of a challenge. Level 5 leadership is another big idea in this little book, and I want you to think about how level 5 leadership might be a topic you'll speak to in your OA. So I hope you get something out of this little book, and I hope that you're able to quote it. I'm going to swing back around and do something with Collins later, but for now, skim that little pamphlet. And you should have read the first 7 chapters of Grunert by now, and that's Grunert and Whitaker about culture is a fairly easy read, I think. And chapter 6 is the culture survey that I hope some of you will consider using either in part or whole in your OA. You have to have some survey data in your OA about the culture in your school. If you've already done a culture survey, it's possible to incorporate that. They ask you to reference Grunert and Whitaker in your OA, and I would go to chapter 6 and see about doing that survey either with a leadership team, a hand-picked focus group, or perhaps the whole faculty. And there are electronic versions out there. If you have the opportunity to administer that in a faculty meeting and then use the results in writing your OA, that would be great. Anyway, Grunert and Whitaker, Mandelbaum is coming up. Jim Collins is the other one to read for this week. And there are, first of all, please do review the resources and look at the rubric for the OA and see how it references Grunert and Whitaker and asks you to talk about the culture in your school. And here, I hope that you will use these discussion boards to find and cite your text and write something about Gruner and Whitaker and culture that you can incorporate in your OA. Write something about good to great and perhaps level 5 leadership that you can incorporate in your OA. I would like to see, and I'd like to respond to both of these discussion board posts as options for including ideas in your organizational analysis. Now, you are to collaborate with others on that OA and that analysis, but if you can give us some preliminary clues about leadership, about the positive or negative culture in your school based on your reading, incorporate that with citations, please, APA citations in your OA. So some reading and some writing to do in week 3. I hope it will all be helpful reading in terms of writing your OA and write. Oh, the other big thing is that I'm conducting a doodle poll, and so far this morning on Tuesday, there's not a lot of overlap or common times for us to find. So give me some clue. I stayed away from daytimes, thinking that our school schedules were all too different to match. But if there's some evening or weekend time when we can talk soon about how to make up that second session that we're going to miss, that's our primary topic. But I do want to also answer any questions that you have, address the CILD conference if you want to talk about that, and any other questions, comments that you have about 700 and our last semester in class. Respond to the doodle poll. I'll give you some feedback on it. It may not be that we meet this week. Maybe we can do it this weekend. Thanks. Have a great week. Jody and Natalie, it sounds like you came through Dorian well. Congratulations. Not every hurricane is going to mean missing weeks of school, and that's a good thing. See ya.